Hi, guys. It's Casey here. Welcome back with When the Comfortable Gets Uncomfortable. I've got Amanda Riffee here with me, best-selling author of Unleashing You, and she is an expansion coach, and she is one of my personal coaches that has helped bring me out of the trenches with my business. You guys know me, you know the work that I do, with it being a lot of energy work and being in my magic. My biggest weakness with my business over the last year that I noticed was really diving into all the admin work, the emails, the things that have to be done to keep my business going. Insert Amanda. And she has helped me so much with my business. And she is here because I kind of brought her out of the spiritual closet. And with her being one of my clients, me being one of her clients, I just thought it would be so amazing to have her on this podcast, to really let her tell her story, shine light on her amazing book, Unleashing You, and just what she has to bring into this world and what she has to offer. And yeah, so Amanda, I'm going to hand the mic over to you and let you kind of just spill the beans on what's going on with you and what where you started from, where you like your journey through what brought you here today. And anything else you feel like sharing. So, Amanda,
Yeah.
welcome and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Casey. Thank you for having me. Honestly, I love you so much and I love this show so much. So I'm honored to be here. And yeah, you're not kidding when you say that you brought me out of the spiritual closet. I was just like, doing maybe some oracle cards and like some personal growth stuff here or there inside the comfort of my own home. But I was definitely a big corporate girl, and those two things did not ever feel like they could mix for me. Until I met you. So thank you for that. Just a little bit about my journey. Before I was a number one best-selling author and before I was an expansion coach, I was in the corporate world for 18 years. And I was climbing the ladder. Like I started out in what was the equivalent of like a front desk type of position on a contract to hire basis back in 2008. And they were like, we can offer you this job, but like we might not be able to hire you on permanently. And I was like, I feel like I can do this. I feel like this is the right fit for me. I can prove myself, like all of those things. And I stayed with that company for 17 years. And so I just
Wow.
continued to work my way up the corporate ladder. And every couple years, when I would feel that itch to do something new, take on a new challenge, whatever it might be, where maybe a lot of people start to, look for another job or something like that, I was always able to find it within my corporate company. So I never really had a reason to leave. I never had a reason to do anything different because I was able to continue to grow within that company. And it wasn't until like summer of 2022 that I started to feel that itch again. I had been in my role for a couple of years. My team was running really, really well. They were high performing, highly engaged. Their careers were growing, and so it was kind of leaving me with like, okay, now what's next? Like I feel like I've done my job. They're growing. I can delegate so much. I've got extra capacity, and it was the first time in my career that nothing really felt right like it had before. I was like, well, I could go for my boss's job, but I don't know that I really want that job. I guess I could move to this team or this department, or maybe I go look outside the company. Nothing felt right like it had before.
Mhm.
Before it always felt like a hell yes, like, yep, that's the next move for me. And this time I couldn't find it. And that was a very uncomfortable for
Yeah,
me.
you're getting
And
the itch for more.
yes, exactly. And that was exactly what I kept hearing was like, like you're meant for more, like you're ready for more, but I couldn't put my finger on what more was. And so I happened to be reading a book at the time, which I would recommend. It's called Money, a Love Story, and it's by Kate Northrup. And I was reading this book, or let's see, or listening to this book because I love a good audiobook, but
Right.
listening to this book on my walks. And she, was talking about passive income and just, starting something of your own. And it was the first time that I realized, like, maybe I could create something of my own on the side.
Mhm.
So, I still wanted to keep my corporate track. I couldn't imagine not having it, but maybe I could bring in some extra income on the side when we wanted, to take a vacation or when Christmas rolled around or whatever it might be. And so I didn't want to just go get a part-time job. That didn't feel right, but I was like, I feel like I could create something, like something that could be mine, but I had 0 clue what that could be. And so I went to, you're gonna laugh at this because you know me and my love for calendars, but all of my whole life is on my calendar. And so
Mm.
I actually, which is kind of a coaching exercise now, you could do this with your camera roll, you could do this, with your journals, you could just do a meditation and think about this. But I went to my calendar and I said, okay, what are the parts of my day that I really look forward to?
Mhm.
What are the parts of my job that I actually look forward to and enjoy doing? And then what are the meetings that I hope get canceled? What are the things I would delegate in an instant if I, didn't have to do them? And so what came out of that exercise for me was I really loved my one-on-ones with my team. I
Mm.
loved creating that safe environment for them. I loved having those deep career growth and personal growth conversations. I loved helping them to get, steps closer to their next goal and their next dream and helping them to get out of their comfort zone and try something new and stretchy. I really valued those conversations. And then the other thing that came out of it was I was really active in the corporate world. They're called BRGs or ERGs. It's called employee resource groups. So they're
Mhm.
essentially groups of employees that get together for a common purpose. So, like we had a pride group, an African heritage group, a women's group, and I was in all of them. I was in
Of
all of
course
them.
you were.
Yes, I was. And what I realized that I loved about those conversations was I really felt like we were talking about something deeper than what we talk
Mhm.
about in every other meeting in our corporate jobs. We were really talking about community, making an impact, making a difference. And it felt like we were just like all united for this common goal. And I just really, really loved that. And
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, cool. These are the things I love. But how the heck do I make that into a job? Like that I had
Right.
no idea what to do next. And so this was 2022. So it was right before AI, Chat GPT, all the things. And so I couldn't go to chat, which is where I would go today. If I was doing this exercise, I'd be like, hey, tell me what
The
I
sole
should do with this.
therapist.
You're right. But then I just had Google. So I went to Google and I just started searching and going down every rabbit hole, following every curiosity of, what could I do with these skills and these interests? And I actually did that for a couple nights in a row. Like in the evenings, I was just searching, bookmarking things that maybe could be an option, that sort of thing. And one of the searches, one of those nights brought me to, it was actually like a job opening for a coach. And I was like, coaching, that's interesting. Like, what is that? And so the more I learned about it, the more I dug in, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like, I think this could check the boxes. I could keep
Mhm.
my corporate track. I could get 1 to 2 clients here or there on the side when we're looking for extra income, help them with career growth or personal growth types of conversations. And it was like things were starting to get lit up within me. And so I went to my husband and I was like, "Hey, I don't know where this is going to go and it probably seems a little out of left field, but I think I'd like to get certified as a coach." And he was like, he's very supportive of all my wild and crazy dreams, thank God. Um, but he was like, "Cool, you do like, do whatever
Yeah.
you need to
Like,
do.
you're gonna do it anyways.
Yep, you're gonna do it anyway, so I appreciate you asking me or, running it by me first, whatever." Um, but so that's what I did. I invested thousands of dollars and into myself, which is the first time I had ever done that.
Mm.
Any other time that I had gone to a conference or learning and development, like corporate always paid for that trip. And
Right.
so they told me what I could go to and, all those things. And this was the first time I was choosing for myself and investing my own money in it.
Yeah.
And so it felt terrifying, but I was just felt equally excited about it. And
Um,
so that was September of 2022 when I opened my LLC, feeling
mm,
like a huge imposter, and started my coaching certification. And I kid you not even 3 months into learning the coaching tools, being coached myself for the first time, I had completely changed my career trajectory and where I was going. I started dreaming so much bigger. It was like I took the blinders off and realized I had just been putting myself in a box thinking, "Oh, well, you could do your boss's job, or you could go to this team or this department. Those are kind of your options."
mhm.
Where now I was like, maybe I could be somebody who could have a podcast or be on podcasts, which is wild because we're recording a podcast right now.
Right?
Maybe I could write a book someday. Maybe I could speak on stages. Like maybe I could build a bigger brand than just having 1 to 2 clients here or there. And of course, fast forward 3 years later, and I've
You've
done
checked all those boxes.
every single one of those things.
Yes.
And yeah, and it's wild because if you would have asked that version of me 3 years ago, I would have been like, "You're nuts. Like, you are crazy." Because I always felt that type of path was meant for somebody else. It wasn't meant for me. Like, I was just meant to do this thing that I at one point knew I was meant to do. But I swear, like, once I started really doing that inner work and really leaning into coaching tools myself, I was like, "Whoa, I really, really am meant for so much more." And
Yeah.
that's essentially why I do the work that I do today, because even when
Mhm.
I started that coaching certification, I had no idea really who my client was, who I wanted to work with.
Mhm.
And so I tried a lot of different things, but what I've landed on now is helping women like me and helping women
Mhm.
who want to create something of their own, who want to build a brand that's bigger than themselves, and they just need the courage and the strategy and the inner work to be able to make that real.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love your story so much because literally everything that you said, you were like, maybe I can do this. Maybe like you've done it. You are one of the most amazing women I know. When you like have a thought or a plan, like you take action on it that second. Like there's no, even if you have a little bit of fear, you're like, I'm doing it. I'm going all in. We're doing it. And like you've inspired me in that way and so much.
Oh, thank
Um
you.
so I don't think I touched on this, but me and Amanda officially met through she was a part of Sasha Kennedy, who owns Her House. You guys hear me talk about Her House all the time. So she was a part of Amanda's or of Sasha's retreat, and Sasha had hired me to come and do a breathwork, facilitate breathwork for the women in her retreat. And we met and she was talking about how she's like, yeah, I'm like done with my book and or I'm almost done and it's in the publishing phase and da 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 da. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And like I've started my own book. I'm not anywhere near publishing it, but I will be. And I was like, I need to talk to you. Like you've written your own book. Like who did you go through? And she's like, me. Like I just did it. I did this, and da 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 da. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, we need to connect. And so we, connected obviously. That was a pretty like impactful weekend for you.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because you are very, coming from being in almost 18 years of corporate world and very like logic like based and like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like you lived up in your head so much. And like just with like to-do lists and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this. And I feel like that was the first real time that you really connected with your body. And I think you mentioned to me, I don't remember when this was, but you had mentioned that like that weekend you cried more than like you've ever cried.
Yes.
And I took all these amazing women, including Amanda, through this uh, powerful breathwork session. Um, I wanted to stay connected with Amanda and we did. She ended up becoming one of my clients. And then I went to her Unleashing You Live, which is where she was like she kind of it's the in-person version of kind of like your book, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a big conference. It was so amazing. I felt really called to go to it. I had a booth there, and she's up on the stage and she's talking about all of these things, and I'm just like, gosh, like where does she get this drive to like do these things? And then she like just unloads about her beyond the 9 to 5 mastermind. And she wasn't even planning on really, you weren't even planning on like promoting your mastermind there much, really. And it just kind of came out. I remember you saying, like, I wasn't really planning on doing this, but for some reason I feel called to, and da da da. And my body just like lit up with chills. And I was like, okay, like I have to listen to this. My heart is pulling me here. I don't know how I'm going to make this happen financially. I was like a year into my business, really working and doing all the things I could, still working at the hospital full time. And I was like, I have to join this mastermind. I have to, everything inside of me, like my body was pulling me and my head was like, how are we going to make this happen? And I'm like, I don't know, but I have to listen to my body. And I jumped up and I went over to her and the group of women that were already in it. And I was like, I'm in. She's like, what? I'm like, yes, I'm in. And this mastermind, you guys, like she literally is the queen of strategizing and implementing like structure and calendars and routines and like, you know, a schedule, all of these things. And that is what I needed. Like I get lost in the sauce of my magic sometimes, and I just don't want to do the emails. I don't want to do the other BS, but you have to have a solid foundation of a business and to implement a really successful business, you have to implement structures and strategies and things. And so I jumped into her Beyond the 9 to 5 mastermind, which has been a godsend. And my business has transformed in so many ways, so many ways. Um, and so that's how me and Amanda have, she's one of my clients, I'm one of her clients. And with her becoming one of my clients, we've really tapped into her spiritual side. And because she started to notice, like, I can talk myself through things as much as I want, but like, until I do the deep inner work, like she had this light came on one day and you were like, I need something more.
Mhm.
And let's talk a little bit. I want you to just kind of like whatever you want to share
Yeah.
about how you were kind of a closet spiritual person. And then what really turned the corner for you, where you were like,
Mm.
the more I'm doing this work, the more I'm realizing my business is it's making your business successful. It's making you
Yeah.
be able to be more authentic and true to yourself and what you're meant to bring into this world, because you are such a gift for people and in their business. So what was that like turning point where you were just like, okay, I'm coming out of the closet. This is what I'm doing. And how are you starting to implement that into your business? Because you've shared some things in our mastermind, and me being a one-on-one client, you've shared some things that you've done recently that it makes my heart melt. I love it so much.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I love this topic. Um, because, like I said at the very beginning, I spent almost 2 decades of my life separating, like, how you show up at a corporate meeting and how you talk in a corporate meeting
Mhm.
and, what's appropriate and what's not work appropriate and what, maybe what you could just talk about on the side with some of your close coworkers versus like you're showing up in a big presentation.
Mhm.
And so that was just so deeply conditioned in
Mhm.
me. And it's so I always love looking back at, our timelines because that hindsight just becomes so clear.
Yeah.
And I said it was 2022, right, when I decided
Yep.
to become a coach and still was only thinking like part-time on the side. But
Yeah.
at
Which
the
is how we
end,
all start.
right, of course. Like, I just wanna do a little bit here and there. I'm like, "Yes, come, child, because we
Yes.
will grow that way bigger than you think you're going to."
Yes.
But at the end of 2019, I was going through something again where I was like, "Oh, I just feel like what should I be doing? I feel like I should be doing something different." I wanted to quit my job and become a travel advisor so that
Mm.
I could host retreats.
Okay.
So this is 2019, mind you, way before I found coaching, way before, like, I was just feeling that, like, what I was like, I think I'm meant to be a travel advisor so that I can like host retreats. I don't know what these retreats are going to be about, but like I just feel, and I'd never been to a retreat, mind you. I'd never done one, never been to one.
Mhm.
Now that was the end of 2019.
Mhm.
Thank you, universe. I didn't actually follow through on that because then COVID hit and all
Yep.
travel was stopped. And so that dream just kind of like was like, whew, okay, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I just went back along my regular corporate track again until a couple of years later when the timing was divinely aligned
Yes.
and took that. And it wasn't until I started actually doing retreats and maybe even after my first retreat that I actually remembered
That
going
dream
back to
from
2019 and being
2019.
like, "Oh my god, this is what you said you wanted to do." And look
Yeah.
at you doing it, like, this
Yeah.
many years later, but in a way different way than I ever thought. And
Yeah.
so, that is, I think, some of the biggest things that I'm learning in my business, and you and I were talking about this before we hit record, is so I'm a Virgo, which is I think where I get all of my strategy,
Structures.
organization, structure
Yep.
side, but I knew that I needed to also be in flow and lead with the feminine side of me as well, because
Mhm.
I got that masculine stuff on lock. Like,
Yeah.
good, done. That's my superpower, but a superpower can also be a shadow too. And
Mhm.
so there's a big part of me that still wants to try and control the timeline and say like, okay, I need this to happen by this date and then this is going to happen and then this is going to be successful and XYZ. But that's not the way that things work. Like when I
Yeah.
look back at my story, I know that is not how the best things unfolded. It unfolded
Right.
when it was exactly the right time. And that's to me what I am continuing to still uncover is, this year I leaned a lot more into my feminine. And for me, that is also my spiritual side
Mhm.
of being able to co-create with the universe, being able to trust in something bigger than me. Working with you has helped me tremendously on, I
Mhm.
mean, there's been days where I've literally texted Casey crying and be like, "Can we get a session? Like, I need an insight reading. I don't like, sometimes we're holding ourselves so much and it
Yeah.
feels like we're holding the weight of the world on
Yeah.
our shoulders." And being able to tap into that either, whether it's through meditation, which I do a lot of now,
Mhm.
or, working with you, it's you just bring up, first of all, it's things that number one, you could never know about me. So like immediately I'm bought into that. But it's that sense of being able to tap into that source of something that's like, "Hey, I do have your back. I know that things are
Mhm.
hard right now. I know that it feels like you can't figure your way out of this because you're in your head so much and you can't just action your way out of this right now. Like sometimes you
Yeah.
just need to surrender and sometimes you just need to trust." And, and that things like, I promise I got you.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just all we need to hear to be able
Yeah.
to feel okay again and be able to get back to our badass selves and doing all the things. And so when I think back on 2025, for me, it has been a lot more of not trying to just like force and
Mhm.
create, but to really like pivot and change. And some things I've launched haven't worked. And so I've pivoted and I've done something different. But the key is I've kept going and I
Yeah.
keep every time I'm really doubting myself, like we were talking about earlier, like, I will jump into a meditation now and I will just go
Mhm.
inward. And
Mhm.
I think when you can equip yourself with tools like that to get into your body, because, I'm certified in mindset. So
Right.
I'm naturally inclined to do a lot in my head,
Mhm.
but sometimes you have to go deeper than that. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to just not be able to figure it out right now and not know what that belief is, right? That's holding you back, and just be okay with sitting in the uncomfortable, which is why I love the topic of this podcast.
Yes. Yeah. That uncomfortableness or the comfortable is what can really get us itching and be like, you felt that like pull, that itch inside of you, and you're like, there's more. I know I'm meant to do more. And you followed that. And like, I feel like there's so many women that can resonate with that. I know that's what led me to, starting Moonbeam Healings is I was like, I'm meant to do something bigger. I was working at a hospital, healer or whatever there, like helping people and around sick people. And I had this passion, like to make people feel better. And it all led me like every job I've ever had, lifeguard, waitress, bartender, working at the hospital, it was all serving and taking care of people. And like with you on your corporate job, like coaching and creating structures and like leading, meetings and this and that. And like literally now, what are you doing? You're creating structures, you're leading women into helping them like build their business while working a 9 to 5, or if they're quit their 9 to 5 and then they just started a business, like it's like all the pieces come together. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I was meant to do. And now you're literally living your purpose, following your passion. You've turned some of your deepest struggles into momentum to help you get to where you are today. And I love that about you so much. Speaking of like you getting into your body, because, you're a mindset coach, like all of those things, but something that really, it sticks out with me so much. And I think this is a really, really cool story. Because it's literally like, you can't make this shit up. One day, me and Amanda, it was actually in one of my one-on-ones with her. It's a VIP day that you get when you're part of one of her masterminds or you're a personal client of hers. And we're in it and we're just knocking stuff out left and right. But the whole time she's like doing this. And I'm like, what is up? She's like, oh, I think I slept wrong on your neck. And I'm in my head, I'm like, I don't think you did. And she was like, and I was, before I could even say anything, she's like, but I don't think I slept on it wrong. Like it's weird. It's deep. And it was on her left side, which is your receiving side. And this is something that has been really coming up for Amanda in some of our life insight readings I've done with her, Reiki work I've done with her. It's all about her, like just allowing her to receive. And like she gives so much to so many people. And I think you thrive on that, but like you also need to be able to fill your own cup up too, but you need to let people also fill your cup up when they want to give to you. And she, as like coaches and people that are just trying to help other people like do good and that makes us feel good, she wasn't really allowing herself to receive things. And there's been like some money block stuff that has come up. And she's like talking about her neck, and I'm like, I don't know. And so I asked her towards the end, I was like, do you mind if I just can we do some energy work? And she's like, please. And so we did some energy work on it. And I'm going to let you take the show from here because you telling this story is just, I can't recreate it. And it's just so cool.
Yeah.
So I want you to
Yeah.
tell this story about what we kind of worked on, what came up, and then what happened like after you implemented some of the things that I told you to do.
Yes. It's wild. And honestly, if anyone else told me the story that wasn't me sitting there watching it happen, I'd be like, okay, like
Yeah.
that's a little far-fetched, but this is how you just can't explain some of these things. So yeah, so we're in this VIP session, we're knocking things out, and then we had to switch sides of the table because I literally couldn't turn my head to the left to even look at you.
Yeah.
And so when you offered to do that energy work, I was like, oh, thank God, I was hoping you would ask. Like, love that. And so you're doing energy work on me, and you asked the question, and you said something around like, there's something coming up with receiving? Like, do you have a block to receiving? What is resonating with you there? And I was like, well, the only thing, like, what's coming up for me right now is like, I have been doing a lot of deep, like, money work, like a lot of
Mhm.
old money stories. I was doing a money guided course. I was also doing a manifestation course around the same topic. So I was like really deep in bringing up a lot of old stuff
Yeah.
as it relates to my relationship with money. And so when you asked me that question, I was like, well, that's the first thing that's coming up. Like, that's the thing I've been diving the deepest into right now. And I'm unearthing a lot of stuff. And you're like, yeah, yeah, that tracks. Like, that sounds right. And so you're doing the energy work on me, and you're like, can you just like close your eyes, and I want you to just like keep repeating this mantra. And so the what you had me say was, I'm open to receive abundance in expected and unexpected ways. I'm
Mhm.
open to receive abundance in expected and unexpected ways. And so I kept, I said that there, and then I continued it. Like, I just kept saying it, I don't know, all over the place.
Yeah.
Like I just all the time I was just like, I'm open to receive abundance in expected and unexpected ways. And I would just like really feel it. Because again, I'm also doing this manifestation course. And the quickest way, the easiest way to manifest is to feel those emotions
Mhm.
now. So that's the sometimes where we can get stuck with affirmations, is because we're just saying them up here, but we're not feeling it.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, I know that like if I really am calling this in, I got to feel it. And so I just was like saying it on repeat. I was really feeling the emotions. And then just a couple days later, my mom and I were going to my son's soccer game. And it was like terrible weather that night. It was storming, it was freezing cold, like downpouring, wind, all of it. And we're like bundled up at this outdoor soccer game in Colorado. And it turns out my son wasn't playing. He's the goalie and he wasn't playing in that game. So we're like, well, we're going to leave at halftime. This is miserable weather to be just sitting out here watching other kids play soccer.
Yeah.
And so we're headed out to the very full parking lot at halftime, and we're the only ones in the parking lot because nobody else is leaving right now.
Mhm.
And we get in the car, and it's pouring down rain, and my windshield wipers start going. And I'm like, what? There's like something on my windshield. Like, what is on my windshield? And mom's like, what? What? And I was like, I think it's money. Like, there's money on my windshield. So I get out of the car, and there are just $20 bills all over my windshield of my car. And I'm like, "Mom, it's money." And she's like, "Well, did someone hit you? Did they like leave?" And I was like, "Oh, good. Let me check that." So like I'm going around the car, nothing on my car, nobody is attacking me, like nothing bad is
Yeah.
happening. And so I get in the car, and I'm like holding all this like soaking wet money, and my mom's like, "Put it down. There's probably drugs on it." Right? 'Cause like that's where like we can't comprehend that like something like this could just happen and like no strings attached. Like we think
Right.
there has to be some other thing, like waiting for the shoe to drop, right?
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, mom, if there are drugs on it, they're gone because this is soaking wet,
Soaking.
like dripping wet money." So we get home, and I lay it out, and it was $100 in 20s on my windshield, seemingly out of nowhere, very unexpectedly.
Mhm.
And like I put that in my wallet, and I spent that like that week.
Yeah.
But I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Talk about being open to receive abundance in unexpected
Unexpected.
ways. Like,
Yeah.
I came home, and I'm like, I found $100 on my windshield, like out of nowhere.
Like, who does that?
Wild. Wild.
Oh, I love that story so much because it really does just like show like who knows how that turned up there. Somebody it could have dropped, blown onto your car, then it started raining. Like but who cares, right?
Right.
It landed on your windshield. It was there for you and you were able to like to take that in and receive it and just be like, "Oh, this is mine." I love your mom thinking like there's drugs on it.
Put that down.
You're like, "No, mom, it's fine."
I'm like, we're in
Uh
Castle Rock, and it's raining, and it's
yeah.
fine.
I love that so much. Um, and now, like, how are things like with you receiving? Like, where are you
Yeah.
at in your head and your body, like with receiving and like the money, like, how are you feeling with that money block, that money wound that you've been working like so diligently on?
Yeah, yeah. So what's so interesting is because I'm like, okay, I've been doing months of work on this. Like, now I'm ready. Like, come
Mhm.
on. And so that just I fall back into, as we all do, right? We fall back into those old habits. I'm like, okay, now I'm trying to control the timeline again. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, XYZ, I've done X number of months of work. I'm I get my certificate and I'm ready to go, right?
Yeah. You're
And
like,
it's
"Where's the
not
abundance?"
like, come on. But that's not how it works, right?
Right.
Like I am doing at least a lifetime, if not more lifetimes of work right now.
Mhm.
You can't
Yeah.
expect for everything to just turn as
Right.
that quickly because we've, sat with it or we've, feel like we brought up, there are definitely beliefs that I have been able to just choose
Mhm.
once you're aware of it, to be like, that just doesn't fit me anymore. And I'm
Right.
I'm done with that. And some of them are that simple to do. I won't say easy, but simple
Yeah.
to do. And then there's others that are just so deep rooted that you're like, the
Mhm.
minute you feel like you've gotten to the root of it, then comes another layer, or then comes
Yeah.
something else that brings it back up again. And you're like, oh, dang, I really was hoping I was at the end of that one. And what I feel about, especially my work around money, is this one is deep rooted for a reason.
Yeah. It's
And
ancestral
I
for you.
really feel, and I felt this even last year and probably the year before that, that I was like, I feel like I'm going through the hardest stuff when it comes to
Mhm.
money because I'm meant to do something with this.
Yes.
Like I am
Oh,
meant to help
I just
lead other people in some way when it comes to this.
I have
And
full body
so
chills right now with you saying that.
thank
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
me feel good.
Yes.
Um, because I feel like, and that's, for me, it's money and finances. For you, it might be love, it might be,
Mhm.
self-acceptance, it might be anything at all. But whatever
Mhm.
is the thing that you feel like, oh, I just keep getting another layer and another layer and another layer. And like, when is it gonna be enough?
Mhm.
It's like, I feel like it's because we're meant to do deeper work. We're meant
Yeah.
to share that with other people.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like with what I'm, really going through myself now and will continue to go through for a while, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But and you say this all the time, and I fully believe in this as well, is like even on the days where my anxiety is really high or I'm really worried about something or I'm really trying to control the timeline, I just have to remember like this is happening for me. This is happening
Mhm.
for me because if I wouldn't be going through this, I'm not going to ever get to that other side that I'm thinking about and dreaming about and calling in.
Oh my gosh.
It's
This
part
makes
of my
me emotional, you
story.
saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of my
Yeah.
story. And I know that now from writing a book that literally, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, some of my chapters are happy, but like almost all of them come with, this is a lesson that I learned. This is something hard that happened. This is
Mhm.
something, that a client was going through, and here's how we turned it around.
Yeah.
So when we say like this is part of our story, it's literally and figuratively. Like
Yes.
that's what makes the book. I'm sure
Yep.
your book isn't just all love and light without any hardship. Like
Oh,
that's
no.
not the way it works.
Yeah. And that yeah, I mean, you can't have light without the darkness.
Yes.
And so it's really all about alchemizing that darkness or those shadows or those blocks within us, those deep rooted things that keep coming up. And like you're so good with the mindset stuff. So like you're really good about powering through. Like mentally you can tell yourself, but then when you feel it in your body and you're like, it's creating anxiety or like kinks in your neck or like whatever it is, that's when the energy work and the somatics and like that implementing that is what helps really release that and like
Yes.
uncover those roots. And then like you said, like as we go deeper, it shows up maybe more or in different ways. And that's just opportunities for us to continue like, okay, like, nope, this is who I said I'm going to be. This is like what I said I'm going to do. And like, as long as you can like tell your mind to tell your body, Like, this is how we're going to go forward. This is how we're going to release this. This is how, like not shoving it down, acknowledging it and working through it. And that is like more meat for your story, like more substance to your
Yes.
why, and bringing more of your pain to your purpose,
Yes.
and
And I
turning that into
think
power and fuel.
yeah, and I think you just hit on honestly the key right there is being able to bring that from your head, like telling yourself, "Okay, yeah, we got this, blah, blah, blah," but bring it into your body.
Mhm.
And that's honestly, that's the next stage for me in my business too, is like now I've been doing a lot of this work personally.
Mhm.
And I joined your Breath to Alchemy
Yes, you
program
did.
that is starting on 11/11, depending, I don't know when this is going to launch or air, but hopefully before then,
Yes.
um because I'm gonna get certified in Reiki. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe breathwork too. We'll see. We'll see what the world has in store for me. But um, because I feel so deeply that what
Mhm.
you just said is exactly the path to be able to not only call in the success that we are craving, but to be able to hold it and
Yeah.
be able to be the person that can hold the millions of dollars that we're calling
Mhm.
in, the visibility that comes with building a brand and an empire and a company, and
Mhm.
the responsibility that comes with that too.
Yeah.
So when we think like, oh, we haven't gotten this thing yet, we haven't gotten this thing yet, well, there's still more work to be done around
Yep.
that. And so I really feel like for me, that's the next step for me, is to not only for myself continue to get into my body, which I'm very excited about. We talk about this all the time for the program, is that sometimes I forget I'm getting certified in this
I
and that like
know.
I can use this with other people, because I'm just so looking forward to
Mhm.
that journey for myself, because I
Right.
know there's like just more layers that need to come out of me to be able to clear space for what it is that I'm calling in. But Casey, your program is going to freaking change people's lives. And in our industries, we say that a lot, right? Life
Yeah.
changing, but like it's cliche because it's true, right? Like you are changing people at an identity level. So
Mhm.
let me ask you a question. Can you
Okay.
just share a little bit about your Breath to Alchemy program? Because it's
Uh,
the freaking shit and I need
yeah.
everyone to know about it.
Yes, I can. Brett's Alchemy was something I've been creating behind the scenes for probably a year now. It's been something that's been in my forefront. I knew that I was meant to bring this medicine into this world during my first breathwork session. It was like, I mean, clear as day. Like, how visual I am. I'm very clairvoyant. I have visions of all sorts of things. And as soon as I sat up for my first breathwork session ever that I experienced, it was like, oh my gosh, like this isn't just for me. I'm meant to bring this medicine into the world for other people to help them like release what they need to release in order to really like come into their soul's alignment, their highest timeline, their highest path, and bring their purpose into the world, and however whatever gifts it is that they have. And I've been working on this behind the scenes, and then like this past, it was in, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to launch it. I'm going to launch it. And then it was in August where I attended some plant medicine ceremonies and a retreat. And it was like, you're going to do this and you're going to do this now. And I was like, okay. And I came back from a retreat in Mexico, did a meditation. My team was like, you're going to launch it. This is how many women are going to be in it. This is when it's going to start on 11/11. They told me 8 women. Like it was like boom, 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 everything clear as day. And I was like, okay, like here we go. And so I have literally taken the last 5 years that I've been on this healing journey of really discovering myself. Um, I took everything I loved, and I've put it into this beautiful 8-month container of not only getting certified to be Reiki 1 and 2 attuned and being able to facilitate that for yourself and for others, but also being holotropic breathwork certified. And you're not just getting certificates. Like you're not going to walk out of this program with just like a certificate to be able to do this and this. You are going to come out of this a completely changed person, because when we do this deep of work to where we're able to actually really be able to hold space for others at this capacity, You have to do the work on yourself. And so like I'm so excited for the women in this program because they are going to go through one of the deepest transformations I think they've like I don't think they realize. I don't think you realize, like I think you kind of do. But the transformation that you are going to go through and how like I'm teaching people how to create sacred containers, set up a sacred space, protecting their energy, clearing their energy, facilitating breath work, recognizing energy, discerning energy. I'm also bringing Amanda into this program. Originally, I was just like, hey, like, I want your business side to come into the because I want these women to be able to get out of this program and be able to either one, launch a business, or two, implement these workings into their already current business. Because I'm constantly getting hired on by coaches like yourself, Sasha, whoever, to do this deep inner work for their clients. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like business energetics 101. Hello. Like,
Yes.
you have a fear of being seen? Let's clear that shit right now. And so I originally asked Amanda to come and do her workshop and of like implementing the strategies of business at my retreat, which is the culmination of this program. And she was like, okay, and what if I come and like be your right hand man and help support you? And I was like, you want to get Reiki certified? And so we're doing this beautiful energy exchange of that. And I'm so excited because you're not just getting certified, you're going through a transformation of your own to be able to be that person that can hold the sacred containers for Reiki or for breathwork or both. You are going to be able to implement this into your business or start a business of your own. So Amanda's coming to the retreat. She's in the program, coming to the retreat to not only receive, but also to give her teachings and her knowledge of the business side of things, where I struggled the most in the beginning with my business. And so I'm so, as you can tell, super passionate about this
Yes.
program. And I can't wait because I took everything that I loved and put it into this like beautiful container. Everything I didn't like, feel like I'm sharing wisdom from past lives too, because there's things in here that like you can't get from a book, like you can't get from experiencing from someone else. Like this is knowledge and teachings and wisdom from past lives that I know I've done this in a past life, things that I've encountered in this life. And it's all like beautifully curated into this 8-month program that is just uh I'm so excited for it. I know I'm going to go through a transformation of my own too. And
Yes.
so like we're all in this journey together and I'm so excited for it. And I can't wait for you to be able to like I just really step into your gift, Amanda, of not only mindset work, but then like, okay, where's this block coming from? And then implementing these teachings that you're going to get into your offerings because I just see your business skyrocketing through
Yeah.
this whole transformation in the most beautiful and abundant way. And I'm
And
so excited for you.
it's so wild because I had a 2026 tarot reading
Mhm.
and the person didn't know, all of the things that you just shared. And we're, going through and she's like, these don't seem like she's done tarot readings with me before. She's like, these just don't seem like Amanda energy cards. Like these feel different. They're like really, really intuitive, really, really spiritual. And it all is starting like in the spring of 2026. And I was like, well, let me tell you about the journey I'm about to go on. So that track.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to meet both of us on the
Yes.
other side of this. But
Yeah.
even like you said, like I love the way you have this program set up is so beautiful because not only can you get Reiki 1 and 2 attunement, but then you can also get breathwork certification. And like you said, you're going through the spiritual journey yourself at the same time same as I did when I started coaching. I was like, let me learn those coaching tools. Had no idea the journey I was going on. But then at the end of that, you're bringing everyone together in person
Mhm.
for a retreat that's included in the cost.
Yep.
They're a beautiful retreat home in
Mhm.
the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. And then not only that, but after that retreat, we are all coming
Mhm.
down to Denver to do facilitate an event with you, which I think is
Yeah.
so freaking cool
Yeah.
that then they're going to get, photos, videos, all of that of them in their magic, like
Mhm.
day one of being
Yeah.
certified, which I think is
Yeah.
so freaking cool. So just it's such a beautiful container the way that you've laid it out.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there's been a lot of time and thought going into this. So yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. And you being the queen of like masterminds and retreats, it's like it's so great to have you as my right-hand man on this because I'm like, I don't know what to do. How do I do this? And so yeah, so like having you there, like kind of holding my hand with me, because you're just so great at that. Um,
I got you, girl.
facilitating,
You're not doing it
that's
alone.
no, I'm not for sure. What is your next biggest offering that you have in the works right now? Because I know you have a
Ooh.
couple of things. Do you want to
Yes,
share any of those?
I do have a couple of things. Um, 2 things that will be launching very, very soon. One is a retreat in Italy for fall of 2026. So I'm
Yes.
so excited. That one feels real stretchy and scary for me. While I've hosted many retreats, this is my first international one. And so I'm really excited for that. The final details are going into the planning for that and we'll be launching very soon. So that's going to be for women who are just ready to expand into their next level. So they could be in a variety of places within their career journey. It's just
Mhm.
all about expansion, being in that luxury, being pampered, being able to receive, right? And being in freaking Europe doing that.
Yeah.
We'll
Hello.
do wine tastings and cooking classes and all the things along with all of these workshops. And of course, I've worked in energy work in there because this could be fall 2026, baby. So I'll be able to do energy work. So I'm
Yeah.
so excited for that. And then the other one that's coming a little bit sooner is called the Expansion Collective. And that is going to be my new mastermind for 2026.
Yeah.
So as I grow, my clients are growing right along with me. And so I'm creating a next level mastermind that is going to help us go from solopreneur to I'm building a company. I'm no longer like that small business owner. That doesn't resonate with me anymore. Now
Yes.
I'm ready to build a team. I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to put in systems because we all know that like what we pieced together to get to a certain point in our business is not going to structurally work to be able to scale to the next level. So those
Yep.
were really practices that I worked on a lot this year for myself.
Mhm.
And so I am so excited to bring that. And then the VIP version of that will also have a penthouse immersion included in that as
Yeah.
well. We'll be working together in person in a beautiful penthouse
Yeah.
in Denver. So lots of luxury, lots of next level stuff. And then the inner work to go with all of it.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. I love this expansion mastermind. It's gonna be so good. I
I'm
might
so
be a
bummed.
part of it. I mean, you have to put on the bigger shoes before you fill them, right?
Right.
If
Yeah,
that's where you wanna go.
exactly. And with each new
Yeah.
level, like we always feel like, "Ooh, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet." But then part of you is like, "Are you kidding? You've been ready for this."
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it's the same thing whether you're starting a business or you're going to the next level or you're doing something for the very first time. I always say like if you feel equal parts scared and excited, usually that's a pretty good sign.
Yep. It sure is. Ah, I love this so much. Thank you so much for being on this podcast, on this
Thank
episode
you.
today. Just sharing your story is literally what this podcast is all about. When the comfortable gets uncomfortable. Amanda was super comfortable in everything, but she felt that yearn, that pull, that tug in her heart for more, and she followed it. And when you follow it, magic can literally explode at your fingertips. And I'm just so excited to see where your masterminds go, your retreats, and I'm so excited to have you to be part of Breath to Alchemy. So,
I'll see
thank you.
everyone there because we're all jumping
Yes,
in.
I know. I'm so excited. It starts on 11/11. It ends in June, and I'll link information for all that here, as well as Amanda's information. You guys can go follow her on all of her socials at Amanda Riffee Coaching _, right?
Close. Amanda Riffee _ coaching.
underscore coaching. And it's Riffee with two E's at the end.
Yeah, 2
Um,
F's, 2 E's.
two F's, two E's. Yes. I'll link her socials and any information you guys would need to be able to contact her if you're feeling called to be a part of any of her offerings. She does one-on-one work, she does masterminds, retreats, all the things. I highly, highly suggest you get somebody, because no matter how much you think you can do it on your own, like, having somebody there to hold your hand that's done it before, that can guide you through the processes, the structures, building that foundation for your business is so needed, especially if you really want it to see your business be a success. So I cannot recommend Amanda enough. I'll link all of her information here in the description of this episode. And again, Amanda, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being a part of this, a part of my life, and a part of Breath to Alchemy.
I love you so much.
Yes,
Thank you,
I love
Casey.
you. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tapping in and listening. Leave some comments and share this episode if it resonated with anything that you're going through, or you just feel it needs to be shared. All links for anything that you need will be linked in the description. And have a beautiful week. Bye.